Peter was a leader among the original disciples and the early church. In fact, his name is mentioned in the gospel more than anyone else except Jesus. Peter is writing to the churches in Asia Minor. These were Gentile Christians that were being persecuted by society and the authorities. Oftentimes, when we are facing cruelty and injustice, it is easy to fall into malice and evil. Christians are called to hope for the edification of others, not malice. Malice hopes for the downfall of another. Guile is deception born of hate. Peter, the disciple that cut off the ear of the high priest's soldier in the garden as they were about to arrest Jesus, was familiar with deep negative emotions and how they can control our actions. Peter starts this part of his letter acknowledging that the persecution that they are facing can cause deep negative emotions. Peter has credibility here, and he says to them, don't let these emotions get the best of you. Put them aside. Don't let them control you. He then compares the Word of God to pure mother's milk. A healthy baby has an instinctive yearning for mother's milk. When things are right, you don't have to tell the child to want the milk. The failure to either desire or to receive this pure mother's milk, the Word of God, is the reason for so many problems among Christian and the Christian church. The Word of God is necessary for the growth of Christianity, for the growth of individual Christians. We should all desire the pure mother's milk of the Word. Peter is writing here to non Jewish Christians, but Jewish traditions are well known at this time in this part of the world. So Peter is taking the time now to parallel this new Christianity to Jewish tradition. Now remember, Christianity is new. The doctrine is new. So Peter is using words to draw familiar pictures so that people can understand. So Peter starts talking about a temple. The temple has an important role in the Jewish tradition. Peter says God is building a spiritual temple here using living stones, Christians, those who have come to the ultimate living stone, Jesus, offering their lives as their living sacrifice. This Christian temple only lives because of its connection to Jesus. As much as God has chosen Israel, so the church, the Christian church, is chosen. As much as Israel had a priesthood, so Christians are a holy priesthood. As much as Israel had sacrificed, so Christians offer up through their lives and their efforts to be a acceptable sacrifice to God. Peter's idea here is not that God has abandoned Israel or that they have no place as Jews in his redemptive plan, but that Christianity is in no way inferior to Judaism. That's his point. He's trying to gird these Christians to reinforce them as they face the persecution from the authorities and the ridicule from society, including Jewish society, around them. If you follow on with the picture Peter is painting, imagine if you were a living stone in a great spiritual house. There is no doubt who our chief cornerstone is. Though this chief cornerstone is rejected by the disobedient and the unbelieving, he is precious to those who believe. Our lives have no real meaning disconnected from him. Those who reject the chief cornerstone and refuse to build on him instead stumble over him. Instead of being their salvation, Jesus becomes to them a rock of offense. This passage helps me to understand the anger of those that I have met who have rejected Jesus and seem to be offended by our expressions of faith that do not even try to force anything on them. From the very beginning, Christianity has had to deal with the issue of diversity. So Peter addresses that in his letter also. Here, when Peter writes about the stumbling block, he's making it clear that our faith, it can be a stumbling block for those who think because they are of the lineage of Abraham that they are somehow better than the Gentiles who have come to Christ. He's saying here that we all share equally in God's house. Peter's paralleling to Judaism comes for a reason, because he's saying the things that were once exclusively a part of Judaism, their election, their being chosen, their priesthood, their callings, are now no longer exclusively Israel's alone. These benefits are now the property of every Christian. We are special because we belong to God, all of us. A museum, sometimes they're filled with seemingly ordinary things, hats and canes and shoes, but they become significant because they once belonged to someone famous. God takes ordinary people, and because they believe and we belong to Him, we become special. That's the lesson for this week. Have a great week. Bye.